What a year. I had this idea of doing a recap of 2020, you know, my thoughts. What have I gone through so far? I believe it's been a tough year for everyone, but I also believe that everyone's view on this year might be different. In this video, I'd like to point out my arguments, or just simply tell you why I think that this year might have been probably one of the best years of my life. I would divide this year into 3 parts. Let me start with the first third of the year. In early January, I went to Zuiko, an amazing congress, amazing event that was held in Italy. I actually made a full video about that. It's on my YouTube channel. And for those who don't know, it was an international meeting. I got to meet so many incredible people literally from all across the globe. I guess 29 countries, more than 200 participants, and we were just sharing experiences, you know, attending these great parts within the program. And we were just having a really good time. January, that 12 months ago, I met literally the entire world in Italy, you know. And now, 12 months later, you can barely visit your neighbor. This year has been showing us how rapidly things can change. What I believe is that God wanted and really succeeded in preparing me for this year. Whenever I've had, you know, like pretty unpleasant moment, or, you know, something bad happens to me, or whatever, you know, I just wasn't having a good time. Whenever something like this happened throughout, you know, 2020, I've always somehow thought of Zuiko and what a great time I actually had there. And I've thought of all those amazing people that I've met, all the great values and topics that we were discussing and sharing together and even living, you know. And that's only a fraction of all the good things I've been trying to focus my mind on during these, you know, hard moments. The first third of 2020 taught me to never forget what has God already done for me. Let me talk about the second third of 2020 at a different place. So the second third of 2020, let's say from April till August or September, that was the time which I started as an online student. I actually had my first online class in April this year. That was something that was really new to me. Before that, I've only heard about online schooling, you know, and speaking of students and kids who live in the outback in Australia who don't really have any option to get physically to school. So before that, I hadn't really thought of, you know, myself being an online student. So that was a new experience for me, and I found out that many times online schooling, you know, online classes can be much more exhausting than normal attendance. You know, education in school. I mean, that go physically to school. And it was a time when I really had to manage my time and had to really organize everything in my head, you know, completely crush creativity. But I failed many times. It was a very hard time for me in many ways, you know. Many times it was just too much for me, you know, to handle all the homework and all the online stuff. I'm not really good at balancing, you know, activities, managing my own time. After, you know, April, May, and June, 3 months of intense online schooling, the summer break came, 2 free months, and that was also a great time because I really had my time to focus on things I wanted to do. You know, I had wanted to do for a long time. Especially, I dedicated a lot of time to learning music production, learning Ableton, learning all the software. So that was like a nice time off. I began collecting books from our house, just, you know, collecting learning resources for languages, and by early August I had been learning Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, Latin. Learning languages was one of the things that was truly inspired by Escola Foco, because I got to meet, as I already said, so many people from all the different cultures and also languages, and it was a time of a little bit slowing down, maybe trying to enjoy the present moment, and maybe enjoying the present moment to the fullest. So the last 4 months, they were both intense and laid back at the same time. How can this be possible? The answer is online schooling. After the summer break, I got back to it, and again, hard times came, good times came, but during this last third of 2020, I finally could put into use everything I learned during the first third, you know, in spring and summer, and that was great because I was finally able to balance my time. During this time, I also met with my good friend Daniel, with whom I've went on some pretty funny adventures, and nice time to kind of reconcile. And actually, at the beginning of October, I left Instagram for some time, for a couple of months, because I just felt that it was just time to fully focus on what I wanted to do. As I said, I could put to use everything I've learned about time management, so I kind of left social media for a while. Instagram, you know, haven't been uploading on YouTube since May, I guess. And that was a great time for me to finally focus on the important things, especially when the Advent period came. This is probably the first Christmas I can without doubt say that I prepared myself well. I think that, you know, my head been, you know, thanks to this situation that most of us were, you know, at home, and so, but I could finally, you know, devote every single day a little while to reflect on what is the Christmas time really about, and what has this entire year been about. I somehow found out that I just really come to realize that focusing on the present moment and on the opportunities you have in front of you right now might be probably the best thing you can do, because you definitely have to look in front of you, think of the future. It was about God presence in my life. This crazy but so enriching year, I realized what does it mean to put all my trust in God. And that just leads me to my final message. Everything will happen just at the right time. I can promise you that. And when you just surrender your life to God, He will take care of all the things I've done. As I look back right now, I can really see that everything I've really done moved me forward in a certain way. As I think of that, none of that would come to happen without God. Never be afraid, never be anxious. Always believe, always put your trust in God, and just live the present moment to the fullest. Right now I'm working on a documentary series about two great saints. It's called Unknown Heroes. If I succeed, I'll let you know. See you next time. Bye. Thank you once again for a massive year. Thanks for watching this pretty unusual video for me. Thanks for being a part of this journey. Thank our good Lord for making 2020 a blast, a difficult yet a wholesome experience I'll never forget. In this video, I explained what has this year taught me. Now feel free to let me know what has your year been about, what have you learned, and what are you thankful for. American writer Richard Bach once said, "Here's the test to find whether your mission on Earth is finished. If you're alive, it isn't." Thank you once again, and I wish you a hopeful new year.